All right, welcome back. Well, I've got this annoying habit where I like go back and forth between I want to play a 6-string acoustic and then I want to play a 12-string acoustic. I don't own a 6-string acoustic, really. And so I take the octave strings off of this thing and I play it like a 6. But the other day I said, nope, I'm ready to play 12 again. Put a full set of 12 strings on this. It sounds absolutely glorious, and I remember every time why I love it as a 12 string. Anyway, the song that comes to mind for me when I think of classic rock 12 string acoustic songs for me is Give a Little Bit by Supertramp. And it's such a great pop tune and such a fun song to play. So anyway, I want to do a video on it. Great song, love it. I'm going to go through all of the chords and the little sort of nuances that are happening throughout here. There's a lot more than I thought before I really sat down with this. So this is going to be fun. So if this is the kind of thing you like and you haven't done so yet, I invite you to jump down and click subscribe and ring the bell. The bell lets you know every time I drop new content, which I do every single week. All my videos have chapters in them, so you can jump right to the part of the lesson that you want to see and bypass what you don't. And if you're looking for other ways to support the channel, I appreciate it. There's thanks, which is a button right below. It's like throwing a tip in the tip jar. Or you can join my Patreon page where I have chord charts and tabs for all the song lessons that I do on YouTube, like this one. But all the links are in the description, and check it out. Okay, so Give a Little Bit by Supertramp. Super fun song. So what I'll say is all of the chords in this song are easy, sort of beginner-worthy chords, cowboy chords for the most part, but there's a lot of them. It's not one of those where it's like, oh, there's like 3 chords and then a 4th one for the bridge. No, there's a lot of different voicings. They're all easy shapes though. So what I'm going to do is go through all of the sections, all of the parts. I'm not going to go through front to back of, do the entire song and then there's a verse and then there's a bridge and then you come back to the verse. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to block out all of the sections of the songs individually and we'll break down each one of those. Okay? Okay, so let's start with the intro. By the way, standard tuning, although on the record it seems like it's a little sharp of standard tuning. So when you're playing along with the record and you're like, why isn't it right? I know I'm in tune. They probably used vari-speed on the tape and it's a little sharp. But I'm tuned to standard, all right? All right, so the intro, it's A7 to D. Again. Then it's G to A7. Back to D. So that gets you into sort of the verse format. So I'll talk about that a little more. So let me talk about the strumming approach. It's sort of like a gallop, sort of a 3 counter, a count of 3 sort of feel. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I don't know how to do that correctly, but and you have some points of emphasis. What it sounds like to me though is a shaker, right? Which I think is actually on the song. So that's the sort of feel that I've got in my head when I'm thinking about, when you think about the strum, right? It's that sort of shaker feel. You can be loose with it. All right, back to the chords. All right, so we got in the very beginning. 1, 2, 1, 2. Shaker. Our verses. All right, so that's the sort of verse format. Easy chords, right? So just A, 7, D, and G, just put together a different way. So you're jumping one chord to the next, A, 7 to D, G to A. what's interesting here, when you get back to the D, you got to jump back down to the G to get to that D. All the other Ds, you've got an A7 in front of it. But if you notice, you were already on an A7. So you could go, but that's just not as exciting, right? Jump down. There you go. I love that. So that's the sort of verse format. Then it jumps to a, call it section 2, a B minor section, I'll call it, I think. Play your B minor however you want. I saw him live, he's playing it this way. But B minor. E suspended to E. And he grabs that F sharp. You're going to climb up to a G. Right, so that little part again. Now we're going to go to sort of a climbing thing based off of an A7 chord, and you're sort of climbing up a scale. Lots of open strings. So you're going to start with this shape here. Pretty, right? Back to your A7. Back up. And one more up, which is sort of an A7 in itself. And then you're back to a verse. Right? So that whole B minor section. There you go, and you're back to another verse, right? And the band kicks in. But just beautiful. It's just such a beautiful chord progression. So that's the verse format and the first sort of B minor section. Then we're going to come to a bridge. After that next part. And the bridge, some new chords, again easy chords, but new chords. F sharp minor to B minor. And again, we've still got this sort of shaker feel going on with the strum, and listening closely, I can hear him actually have a little action going on here with the F sharp minor. He's sort of doing that hammer on pull off thing. Don't have to. It'll sound just great if you just B minor. Again. Again. One more F sharp. Now we're going to change it up. So the way you get out of that last F sharp. Right. G, B minor. C to G, and then we're going to go back to our A7 climbing thing, right? So in full context. Here we go. This is the same. This is the same. Now we're going to go up one more. Again. One more. This one's going to be a little different. We're going to jump one. We're going to jump up to here, which is sort of like if you think of a G chord. Just playing that part of it, right? And I think it goes back to a verse after that. All right, and the next time we come to our B minor section, he plays it a little differently this time. He'll go. So that's all the same, but he does a C add 9. run again into our climb. All right, now I want to come back to that A7 part, because there's actually another thing that comes in at this point during this climb. So the climb being that whole thing, right? So there's a guitar, I think it's a 12-string acoustic, again, I think, 12-string acoustic run through a Leslie or Fender Vibratone, one of those. And it's doing the sort of, it's doing complementary notes to support each one of those, right? And it sounds like this. Right? You're just getting that pedal of that A note. But if you think about it, the chord that it's supporting on each one, so the first one is the A7, and over the A7 he's playing. So it's sort of the lower major third on the bottom. And then the next chord is that one, and he's playing, right? Again, just playing sort of the bottom part. If you played it as a full chord, it would be that. Then the next one you're playing was this chord. And he's just playing, again, this note on the bottom. Again, catching the open A. And then the next chord you were playing was that one. So you're just sliding it up 2 frets. So all together. Right. The last one on that is where he jumps up here. And I believe that Leslie guitar is just mimicking that. He just plays those notes of it. So I think it's kind of hard to tell fully, but that'll work if you do play that. So if you have the luxury of having a second guitar to play along and accompany you, have them take that on. And I think on the record that once you introduce it's sort of like Pop 101, like once you introduce an instrument or a sound into a song, you'll notice it's sort of always there from that point on. Like it's very rarely just taken away and you never hear from it again. So very low in the mix, you'll hear that complementary Leslie guitar happening through a lot of the rest of the song, sort of lower in the mix. Anyway, so that leads us to the outro. I'm going to call it the outro section. It's sort of a long section that's got a couple different parts to it, but it's another part that's just very iconic with this song, where it's based off of a D triad shape, right? You're going to take it there at D, and you're going to slide it up to your 7th fret, which is a G. But again, you're leaving all the other strings open, mainly keying on the open D string, the open A and the open D string. Yeah, actually I found myself, I'm muting the E string. I just wasn't realizing I was doing that, but that's probably right. All right, so you're up to that G. You're gonna make an A triad shape. Again with everything open, G triad, and then back to your D. Okay, so. And there's a little bit of a change of emphasis in the strum, right? So it's. That kind of a feel. So a little left hand muting where you're picking your fingers up from the chord to get that muted sound. Then we're going to go to this fun chord. Dreamy sounding. It's almost an A minor 7, but it's not. It's almost a C, sort of, but it's not. I think it's a C over a D maybe, but... And then G to D. So that whole part again. Again. Just have fun with that. I think it goes around 4 times. One of the guitars, maybe it's the Leslie guitar or maybe it's a keyboard. I don't know what it is, but something in there hits a different chord a couple times when you go to the A. So it's almost like the acoustic hits that, and then something else hits sounds like an F, like that to me, but it sounds like this. Something like that. Somewhere is that funky chord, but it's very cool. It happens, I don't know, 2 or 3 times in there. Something like that, but have fun with it. So that goes around 4 times, then it repeats that, what I call the dreamy chord. It goes back to this part twice. And we're gonna end it with C add 9, I believe. And then whatever this is. A minor, 7, G, A7, D. Then you do this. You're just a D all the way up here, right? So that part again. All right, love that. I mean, sounds great on a 6, but it sounds amazing on a 12. So, all right, well, that was Give a Little Bit by Supertramp, and I hope you learned something new today. And if you haven't done so yet, I invite you to click subscribe and ring the bell. The bell lets you know when I drop new content, which I do every week. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this, and if there's another song you want me to take on, let me know that too. And until next week, take care, everybody.